Midnight Gardener video. I got to do some troubleshooting on the aquaponics system, and here's the thing. My filter is dirty. I need to change it. So I am going to clean out the filter. I'm going to fill it back up, and then I'm going to run a test on my pH to see if possibly my filter is my problem. I'm using a barrel that we've had outside for years on end. It's been filled up with rainwater. It's been out in the elements. It's been outside, sitting outside for at least 6 to 10 years, somewhere in that range. So I would think if whatever was in it previously, just that time being outside would have kind of like cleansed it. But anyway, I don't know what to think anymore. So that's the test I'm gonna run. Okay, so there's the filter. It's pretty dirty. Definitely time to change it out. So I'm gonna shut the pump off. I'm gonna shut the pump off going to the fish, and that'll stop the water from coming in and out. I'm gonna put I got a sump pump that I'm gonna put in there, drain everything out, and then fill it back up and see how it goes. Okay, I got the pump off. I still got air going to the fish. And then I've got a sump pump in the filter here. And I am bringing everything outside into this barrel so that I can use that fish water in the plants outside. Okay, so here's what we're looking at, guys. I am testing the pH level. I'm looking for how acidic or how alkaline the solution is here. Now when I do a pH test, basically once I hit the 7.6, then I go and do a separate test to see if it's higher than that, and that's where I kind of like get a little confused. It's I've had it go, some days I'm thinking it's 7.8, some days I'm thinking it's 7.4. I don't know, but one thing that is consistent is I am always hitting the 7.6. So bottom line is it's too high. I need it to be about 6, I don't know. Ideally, the give and take is 7, because fish prefer it more towards 8 and plants prefer it more towards 6. So the give and take is 7. Ideally, I'm probably gonna shoot for around 6.5 roughly, I think, because that's what my outdoor system before had, and that ran great right around there. Anyway, what I've got going on here is this is the water. It's hitting 7.6. This is the water that is currently in the system right now, and then this right here is the water straight out of the tap. So you know, I've got like a 6 coming right out of the tap, and I've got 7.6 in the system. So at this point, I've got the filter empty. I'm gonna fill it up, and we're gonna see what the pH level is. If it comes back at around 6, then we know it's not the filter. If it comes back at 7.6, then there's whatever was in this barrel previously has left some kind of contaminants in it, and then the barrel's bad. That's my problem. So let's fill this up and see what we got. Okay, so I got the water filled up. It is just below, it's kind of hard to see, but it's just below that pipe. So whatever water is in that pipe from the rest of the system is not commingling with the water that I just put in there. I looked it up, how long it takes for pH to change. Anyway, Google says give it about 15 minutes before you, to let it sit and do what it's gonna do before you do a test. So it's been about 15 minutes, let's do a test. Okay, so I ran the test at 15 minutes. I ran it again at like 20 minutes, and at this point we're at like 30 minutes. Nothing is changing. So this is the system right here. This is the one out of the tap, and this is the one in the filter at like 30 minutes, and it's not changing. So that leads me to believe that the filter is okay. There's no contaminants that are adjusting the system in there. Okay, so now I'm really starting to scratch my head. So what else can it be? I've got these lava rock here that I'm using to give support to the plants. Now, I've used this exact same stuff in my old system. I just pulled it right out of the beds from the old system that I had not broken down yet, and I put it in some water out of the tap. It's been sitting just like the other filter. It's been sitting 25-30 minutes. Run a test on it, and it's the same thing. It's coming back looking just like that. It's coming back at 6. So it's not my lava rock either. What do we have left? The pond liner. I can't see it being the pond liner. Can it be the styrofoam? I looked that up. The styrofoam has no pH. The only other thing I can think of is I've been running, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not this, because I've been keeping a record log of this from day one. But I'm running my misters. Everything's kind of getting wet, and water hits these bricks. Could limestone, traces of limestone, come from the bricks into the system? It's a possibility, but from day one, way before I ever even sprayed down anything and had any water hit this, my pH was high from the get-go. I am really scratching my head on this one. So from here, I've been looking at a few things. I've been watching Bright Agrotech. They get real deep into the chemical and science behind everything. He says not to add acid to a system because it will naturally, over time, it will become more acidic through the nitrification process, through the oxidation of ammonia. Start adding acid to it, and then at some point your pH will just crash, and then from there your system will stop nitrifying. So basically that'll happen, and then the ammonia won't be processed, and then my fish will just be swimming around in ammonia. So the other thing that I found was Sylvia Bernstein. She wrote the book that is probably the most popular book for aquaponics. She had a video where she was talking about if you have to add acid to your system to drop the pH, to use phosphoric acid, which is the same acid that's found in like Coca-Cola. I have a bottle of pH, and the only ingredient in my bottle of pH is phosphoric acid. So I'm kind of at a crossroads here. Is there something that I've overlooked? Do I do a water change and hope that kind of starts to fix the problem, or do I start throwing some pH down in there? I'm gonna put this video out. I'm waiting a day or two before I decide to do anything. One way or another, gonna figure this out. See you soon, guys. Thanks.